The Ford Crown Victoria, often referred to as the Crown Vic, is a full-size sedan that was marketed and manufactured by Ford. The model line was produced from 1992 until 2011. Previous to these two generations, there were two earlier models where the Crown Vic wasn't actually a own brand but a trim level. This is also referred to as a Panther platform, which is basically a body on top of the chassis, and they are two separate components. This platform was also shared with the Mercury and the Lincoln. All the vehicles were built in the St Thomas plant, and they were all shipped to the Middle East. Now, from 1992 to 1996, the Ford Crown Victoria was regarded as the Aero model. Basically was slimline, lights, both front and back. However, in 1997, they done the phase 2 or the generation 2 of these cars, which is the one you're sitting in with me now. Over 1.5 million of these cars were built. However, the one we are sat in is got to be, I believe, one of the rarer cars available now. What makes this so rare? Let me explain to you. So Ford produced 5 models of Ford Crown Victoria, or 5 trim levels. You had the P71, or later becoming the P7A when they ran out of chassis numbers, was the Police Interceptor. So the difference between that and say something else was the fact that it had an aluminium prop shaft, upgraded brakes, upgraded suspension, and it also had optional extra electrics added in to be able to run all the police wiring. There was also the P72, so that was kind of phased out later on towards the end of the line. However, that was classed as a fleet package vehicle, so similar to the Police Interceptor. However, it was slightly down on power compared to the Police Interceptor, and it was just a general fleet purpose car, had one exhaust out the back. The P73 was the basic model Crown Victoria that was a civilian model. So you've got to remember, the Crown Victoria was produced for purposes, unlike UK police cars that are generally normal commuter cars that are then equipped with police equipment. Ford actually built and designed a Ford Crown Victoria purposely built for law enforcement, and they quickly became very popular with law enforcement. There was also the P74, which was an upgraded version of the P73. It was classed as a sport, and basically it was slightly quicker, not quite as quick as the Police Interceptor, but you get the idea. And then there was this one. Now, this wasn't released until 2002, and this is a P70 or a P7A, depending on what year when they run out of chassis numbers. So the difference between this and all the other Crown Victorias is this is classed as a long wheelbase Crown Victoria, and its sole purpose was to be used as a taxi package car in New York City. Generally, before that, it was the P72s that were used as taxis. Do not believe the myth of police interceptors being used as taxis, because that certainly wasn't the case in New York. So the P70 or P7A, as I say, was purposely built to serve a purpose, which was generally for the New York City taxi department, and it featured slightly longer rear doors. Well, in fact, it featured 6 inches of extra leg room in the back. So that is a massive difference compared to, say, the Police Interceptors or the other models, whereby once the partition was put in, you had hardly any leg room at all. So it was to make it more comfortable for passengers. These are also fitted with rear controls for the air conditioning and the blower for the heater. The person in the back, or the customer in the back, could then have it blowing faster or slower depending on what their preference was. This was the only model of car to come with that package. Also featured the same as the Police Interceptor, and of course the P72 before that, which is the rubber flooring so that it's white clean. These perfectly comfortable leatherette front seats and a vinyl rear seat, all for the purpose of if somebody is sick, you can literally just wash it straight out. All the cars were powered by 4.6 modular V8 engines and coupled to a 4-speed automatic gearbox with overdrive. Let me be honest with you, this is never going to pull the skin off a rice pudding. It is not built for speed, it is built for comfort. It's like driving a boat on land. It is a land yacht. The steering, not very intuitive at all. American cars generally, what they see as luxury is basic for the UK. The dashboard, you know, the clocks themselves, very basic. It simply has a rev counter, a tachometer or rev counter, fuel gauge and temperature gauge. What more do you want from that? You know, it does the basic job. Picked the wrong road to come up because we've had some bad weather, as we all know, and this road is just full of mush. So the colour of the New York taxi is school bus yellow. Yes, school bus yellow. When Ford made the P70 or the P7A, nothing at all was from the long wheelbase Lincoln Town Car. Nothing fitted. It was all completely different body panels. The police interceptor was absolutely loved by the police. You know, they stockpiled them. So from about 2008 onwards, the police were snapping up all the P71s, and civilians could hardly get their hands on them because the police departments knew that Ford were going to end production of these cars in 2011. Also, unfortunately, there was Hurricane Katrina in 2011, which wiped out the best part of 1,000 New York taxi package Crown Victorias that were all brand new, ready to go into service. So that limited the amount of these cars that are available, which is why now they've become a bit of a premium. Very fortunate when I purchased this one. I paid $500 for this car. And the last person that imported one into the UK paid $8,000. Now, yes, you've still got shipping on top of that, etc, etc, etc. However, I'm very much in the black. If you are enjoying this content, please make sure you share, please make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.